Good Sunday morning to everybody. It probably would be Sunday evening by the time I release this. And this is Old Gaming Guru with a quick update on one of my characters, which is a Ball Lightning Ranger here in Path of Exile 2. And I just want to give you an update on gameplay, where I stand, what I've done, and if you want to go ahead and copy this character, as I'm going to walk through the tree really quickly and show you the important nodes and give you a quick look at my gear. But basically right now I am blowing away maps for the most part. I'm a little bit squishy, but I'm blowing away maps for the most part with this particular character. So if you like a really fast and furious playstyle, this is a great character to play. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead and pull up a map. I'm running tier 7s right now. That's been the best bang for my buck. And we don't want to go too crazy because, as you know, when you start to record stuff or stream stuff, your chances, Chris Wilson knows this, and your chances of dying goes up dramatically. But it also, too, means you might get a lot better loot than you normally get, so not really quite sure what I think. Hey, breaks armor, don't care. More magic monsters, great. As you can see, I'm getting close to another level, another Chris Wilson favorite for killing you. And let's just hope we get a good third roll, some magic chests. So I'm not really high on the maps here, and I'm not trying to burn through all my exalts. I'm just trying to level right now, so I just want to get some bonuses to my experience, and this should do it. Alright, so we're going to jump in the map device. By the way, this guy is an absolute beast at killing bosses, so I'm going to try that. I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to try that here on this particular map. By the way, if you are not magically modifying your towers, make sure you start doing that. It's a huge increase to experience, levels potentially, loot that's dropped. So make sure, you see that tower up there that I haven't gotten to yet, make sure that you are using the stones for those, and you are throwing orbs of alteration and stuff on them before you use them, because it will make a huge difference in your gameplay. Alright, so I jump in here with this tier 7 map, not overly modded. Whoop. And I picked a map that should be very conducive to my play style. My main defense right now is evasion and tailwind. I have not gone CI on this guy, and I have not put anything more until because my evasion's so high. I'm trying to keep it that way. I'm trying to break 90% and maybe even get to 95%. And the damage output is so sick, I have not used energy shield at all, and I didn't want to sacrifice damage for those particular nodes. Now this is something really weird I'm getting here, but for some reason after the last patch, I'm starting to get a lot more of this lag. It would help if I could hit this guy. And usually when I'm shooting a little bit better, it doesn't take me quite that long to kill rares. Alright, and as you know, rares are sometimes tougher than bosses in this game. But let's see. So I just throw down a lightning rod, follow that up if I need to. If I can get my lightning rod down, that's great. If I can't, I don't panic. Got a big one there with barrage, so I use barrage to throw up a big chunk of lightning rod. And that will, combined with ball lightning, will kill just about anything. It just melts bosses. Yeah, the only thing that's really holding this build back right now is that if I get hit, if I don't evade, will be very squishy indeed. But I think I'm sitting right now at 85% evade. And I've also got acrobatics running, so that's another layer of defenses I'm using. As you can see, my base lightning arrow is pretty solid on damage. Okay, not burning through mana too quick.
Fury!
Okay, I see a rare in there. I bet he's got... No, he doesn't. I thought he had that one where you have to get close to him to actually do damage. And lightning rod does fix part of that problem. But as you can see here, I'm doing pretty good with these guys. Okay. One thing I've noticed is we don't have as many of these porcupine mobs as before. Chris is still messing around with us with monsters with large fucking explosions. After they die, of course, which is one of his favorite ways to kill you when you start getting to the right level. Or getting close to the right level. And I'm just going to take you to the boss here, and let's see how I do. See if I can...
Forward climb. I need more mana. Forward climb.
Okay, boss melted. And I honestly wasn't really that good. I do a lot better on these bosses. So now I'm going to take you back really quick and show you exactly how I've got this guy set up, my stats and my gear. We're going to start with stats. Okay, so let's pull up the character sheet and let's take a look at what I got going on here. Alright, so my tailwind's not active, but when it is active, I think I'm at 85%, not 87%. I've got nothing in strength, 2015 dexterity, and 127 intelligence. The intelligence is there for one reason, and that is a fairly strong ball lightning, which is cast on shock. Otherwise, I would put more into dexterity, but you know, it doesn't hurt me because you don't get any evasion bonuses because of your dexterity. See, dexterity only grants 5 accuracy rating. And okay, so going down here, my life is a little bit weak. I got some weak recovery. I've got 134 spirit, which is what I need to be able to go ahead and cast that ball of lightning, which is what you see melting those bosses. This ball lightning in combination with lightning rod is just freaking nuts. My evasion's my primary defense with acrobatics, so bosses don't one-shot me. I noticed since I don't have acrobatics on my monk, is if he doesn't lock down bosses, he's in a lot of trouble. The ranger here with acrobatics can survive a lot of boss AoEs, and both of them have the ability to lock down bosses really hard. Capped out, and I've got enough cap there to basically do anything with elemental weakness. My chaos is still not capped, and I need to get that done. Just haven't found the right piece for it yet. But that pretty much is the majority of my defenses. I did pick up a node that allows 5% of hits taken as damage from a random element. So if I take physical damage, 5% of it goes to an element, so it's further reduced. And I've also got some more defenses too on my skill tree. Okay, I'm running at 35% movement speed. Don't ever discount constantly moving as not being part of your defenses. The ability to move quickly in this game is a huge defense layer. So when you can, try to get it up to at least 30% movement speed unless you are really, really tanky. Okay, so then we look at my skill tree. And here we go. Okay, major nodes I picked up were evasion nodes and projectile damage. So I went and got these first. Okay, came down here and then picked up bonuses gained from equipped quiver. So 30% of bonus from gained from equipped quiver is huge. With my quiver, as you'll see, this is going to add a ton of extra damage when I can actually import my character into Path of Building 2. I'm sure you're going to see how important this node is. I grabbed all this evasion down here, so that gave me more evasion, plus I get additional evasion if I dodge roll. Okay, so those are really key nodes. And I get 60% if I dodge roll recently, more evasion. So dodge rolling is a great part of my boss defenses. Okay, so I then picked this up to penetrate lightning resistance. Okay, then I came over here and grabbed all these evasion nodes and this node right here for the increased attack speed. Attack speed is what makes this work. Make sure you pick up attack speed wherever you can on your items and also on the tree. Okay, so I came down here, grabbed these, so it turns my Herald of Thunder into a monster. Okay, so it not only does damage itself, but it gives me 50% increased lightning damage overall. Okay, came up here, grabbed Penetrate again, picked up a jewel slot. My jewels suck, but hey, I got attack speed and lightning damage, more elemental damage, and some recovery for mana, so that's not a bad one. I saved this one to a little bit later for the movement speed and the projectile damage. But basically you got what I'm doing right here. Acrobatics I saved until I was in maps. Or I might have picked it up late and cruel. Okay, so then coming down here, I picked up elemental damage, attack damage, and maim on hit, which is also a defensive layer with my high move speed. It allows me to get out of the way because my monsters are slowed down. Okay? I got some more projectile damage here with that gem. And then I ran, and this was a long haul, and picked up these guys here. Now, I could go down and pick up some more down here. I've seen a couple builds doing that. You know, you could pick up some Pierce, you could pick up some more Electrocute buildup, which probably would be a huge benefit. But right now, that is the core of my build. My ascendancies, what order did I go for? Oh, and I forgot about these down here. These are a must. Okay, you got a more Electrocute, you got more Shock, and Shock applies to nearby enemies. All right, so what did I do as far as my ascendancy? So first thing I did, which is really unusual for me, I went ahead and picked up this for the Ector projectile and the point blank. This is really, really key against bosses. If you're close, you're doing more damage, and the farther are you away, the more this scales down. But if you are point blank to your bosses, which you can do with Acrobat, you get a lot of extra damage. The additional projectiles, so I'm firing 4 projectiles, is huge. It allows me to trigger off Lightning Rod every time you hit Lightning Rod with either Ball Lightning or your arrows, and a monster is in the field of the Lightning Rods, they're going to fire off. So boom, 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 boom. Okay? I picked up this later, and I'm going to tell you I cheated. I really burned out on running. I made a lot of loot runs on Trial of Sekima, so I just took a free run to pick these up. Tailwind gives you more, I'll show you, more attacks, more movement speed, more attack speed, and more evasion rating. Okay, so until you get hit. All right, so up to 10% movement speed, 30% attack speed, and 15 or 150% evasion rating. So you can see this really bumps me up quickly. And also, this is huge. So when I have 10 tailwind going, which is usually when I don't get hit, okay? So tailwind triggers every time I fire my weapon. I usually have 10 built up. I'm taking 30% less damage. That is probably the biggest defensive. I mean, to get rid of 30% incoming damage is just huge. It prevents you a lot of times from being one shot. But trust me, I still get one shot. All right, so there's that. Okay, so then we're not going to look at gear. We're going to, we looked at my skill tree. I'm going to look, yeah, we'll look at gear really quick. A pretty decent bow. I can buy better, but right now it's going to cost me a bunch of divines, so I haven't done that yet. Absolutely get 2,000 rating on your evasion gear. And I got lucky and found this piece for cheap. I found it for like 20 exalts. Look at that, 149 life and 2,100 plus resistances and stun threshold. Stun threshold is useful, but most of the time you're not getting hit unless it's by projectiles. But don't want to be stunned. So there you go. I picked up this beast myself. Good resistances, no life. It got me intelligence, which was most important because I needed it for ball lightning. I got this beast here for my quiver, and primed quiver is best in slot. So you can see here it adds more increased damage. It's a kind of a weak roll, more attack speed, and more importantly it adds flat base damage, which is then multiplied and converted into lightning damage. My boots, 30% movement speed is what I went for, life, and then my chaos resist. I got my life here, and also some good resist. Life here, good resist. And really important, pick up a leech of physical attack damage as mana. Otherwise you will struggle with mana. My rings, I took a cast speed one here because of the intelligence and also the additional physical damage to attacks. And also I got 2 decent rolls on resistances, so that can be improved. This one adds more lightning damage, 16%, 24% resist across the board, plus an additional 6. Alright, so then I picked up this. I then went ahead and added Essence of the Storm, which is a node on a tree. It gives me more evasion, more life, more intelligence, and elemental resist. So that is pretty much the character.
What is it?
He is not a character that you're going to go toe-to-toe with most monsters. You're going to stay back and just clear, as you saw in my playthrough. But with that and all my defenses, he's pretty tanky if I just don't play stupid. He's not like my Titan, where I can, for the most part, dive into things. I've got to stay back, keep my distance, lay down as much fire as I can as quickly as possible, retreat when need be. So this is a much more kiting style as you'd expect from a ranger. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some useful tips out of it. This guy's a lot of fun, and nobody so far I've seen clears bosses as quickly as this dude does. So give him a check for Sunday. PoE, Old Gaming Guru out.